Hi viewers all over the world, wherever you might be watching me from, how are you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful time wherever you might be watching me from. We just want to use this opportunity to extend our sincere appreciation to everyone who wished us well during our 5th year wedding anniversary. We are so grateful, and also we want to use the opportunity to share 5 tips that has kept us going in this relationship. Mind you, our relationship is not actually the best. There is no perfect relationship, there's no perfect marriage. We just try as much as possible to manage each other, because naturally it is supposed to be two imperfect people coming together to make it perfect. So it has been 5 years of happiness, 5 years of challenges, and 5 years of fights. 5 years of fights, like she said. But we thank God we are still together. We've been able to manage ourselves till this present moment, and we hope to manage ourselves till eternity, till when Jesus comes. So we are going to be sharing 5 tips that has kept us in this union. Please, this video is for you. If you are an intending couple, if you are married, even if your marriage is not as old as ours, because we are already regarding ourselves as experiencing 5 years. 5 years is no beans, like it's no plea. I'm not being proud about it, but the truth is I'm so excited. Initially it was going to be as if should we just break up, because it was a period where we were trying to understand ourselves and adapt to each other, tolerate each other, and so we are going to be sharing 5 tips. If you find yourself on this channel, it is because God actually wants you to be here. So please don't go away, stay tuned, watch this video till the end, and if you are here to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please make sure you press the subscribe button and also press the notification bell so that you can always be the first to get notified when we post new video. Please stay tuned, we'll be right back.
So guys, the first step to a successful marriage is support. Yes, so in marriage, as intending couples, and even we are already in the whole thing already, support is actually very important in marriage. You get supporting your spouse both financially and morally, in all ramifications, support in every aspect, support his career, support him in his business, encourage him. Support and encouragement comes hand in hand, you understand? So support in house chores, like as a husband, support your wife in some of the house chores, and he does that sometimes. And then also financially, for example, in marriage, money will not always come all the time. There are times that when your spouse or your husband is down financially and he doesn't have the means to run the family for a while, maybe for a week or 2, you understand? Now as a wife, you come in to support, okay? And that is why it is important for a woman to be up and doing also in marriage. You don't just solely depend on your husband for all your financial support. You must have something doing. You must also be able to save and not just spend and spend and spend. Don't be too materialistic. Yes, because that's part of the things that would also help. If you are too materialistic in your marriage, you might not, it might cause problems. Yes, but if you're not so materialistic, you should be able to save out of the little that you have been given, so that in times of need, in times when your husband cannot do much, then you come in to support?
Well, she has actually been very, very supportive. We are not trying to speak to the camera. We are not trying to frame this up because we're in front of camera or something. She has been very, very supportive. So many borrow money that you might not even remember. You might not even remember to pay back. Then she will now be the one saying, you are owing me so amount, and guys, I'm sure you'll be on my side on this one. When you are owing a woman money, you have to try as much as possible to pay back.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, when you are paying back, you don't even pay the amount you borrow. So that in case you want to borrow another one another time, you have to make sure you up it, like add to what you collected. So she has been actually very, very supportive, very, very supportive. That is what has kept this relationship, this marriage going. So she just makes sure that every of my loopholes she's trying to cover up. Every of her loopholes too, I try as much as possible to cover up. So the second thing we are going to be looking at is understanding. You as a man, you have to be very, very understanding. It's not all the time that the woman will have the ability to be up and doing, like going to the kitchen to wash plates, to cook. Some men has even turned their wives to slaves. They will cross their legs. She will be the one to serve them, cook the food, serve them, even still bring washing hand for you to wash while you are eating. And at the end of the day, when you are done eating, you still expect her to come and wash your hand for you, pack the plate and still go and wash. I wouldn't say I'm 100% perfect in this aspect, but I'm learning. I'm actually learning. You get, we are all from different backgrounds. We are all from different family. We just come together to learn one or two things from each other. So when she's down and she cannot do one or two things, I try as much as possible to enter the kitchen. That is when I am home. Like when maybe at times when I don't go to work, I try as much as possible to understand our body system. I enter into the kitchen to do one or two things that I can do. Don't be surprised, I'm a good cook. Sometimes I put one or two things together, it turns to food and we eat. And at the end of the day, I will see her appreciating me that, no, you have done well, this is nice and all that. So try as much as possible to be supportive to her. So I'm sure you are learning one or two things. You are learning one or two things from us. And we hope at the end of this video you will try and pick one or two things from what we are saying. Like I said earlier, I am not saying our relationship is actually the best. It's not the best. We are still trying as much as possible to be the best that we can be. So another thing we are going to be looking at, which is the third thing, is respect.
Yeah, guys, respect is showing true appreciation for one another. Yes, respect is very necessary in marriage, you understand? And it doesn't just come because one person is superior to the other. Sometimes in some marriages you see some men saying, you have to respect me as a man. You have to do this. I'm your husband. I'm the head. You're supposed to respect me and all of that. Respect is reciprocal. You get, respect is reciprocal. As a man, if you respect your wife, she will also respect you in return. You understand? Yes, we understand that you are the head as the man, and it is normal. God has placed you to be the head, and we, the wives, are supposed to be submissive. You understand? But in marriage, it is 50-50. I'm not saying that as a woman you should not be submissive to your husband. No.
And we are not preaching feminist.
Yes, I'm not a feminist. You understand? So I'm not saying that you should not respect your husband or you should be lord over him. No. I'm just saying respect him accordingly. Respect him in the things that he does, even when he brings food to the table and days when he's not able to, the respect should still be there.
Okay. From the aspect of the respect, as a man, you have to make sure you give your wife opportunity to speak when it matters. I've seen a situation whereby men have to shut their wives up because they are in the gathering of men. Mind you, I am not saying when men are gathered discussing about maybe businesses or other things, the wife should be interfering. But in a situation whereby we are gathered, we are talking, we are discussing, we are having a general discussion, it doesn't mean your wife to turn to a deaf and dumb. She can also have one or two things to contribute. It is not best for you to shut her up in the midst of your friends. Remember, it is the way you present her in the midst of your friends and family that they will take her. If you present your wife as a non-entity, someone who is meant to be quiet at any time you are talking, then they will not. There's no how they can see, they can appreciate her for whom she is, for her being intelligent. You, especially when you are not married to someone who is a dullard, who cannot have a say. So you should give her that honor, respect her, especially when you are in a public place.
Yes, respect also comes with submissiveness, submission. Sorry. Like the Bible says that the man is the head and the women should respect their husband. Even then, in Ephesians, before the Bible even talks about the wife submitting to their husband, because this is where a lot of men, miss it. They only pick the verse of wife respect your husband, wife respect your husband. But in the previous verse, the Bible says submitting yourself one to another. Submitting yourself one to another. So it is mutual. Wife respect your husband, submit to your husband. Also, husband submit to your wife.
Yes.
Submit to your wife.
So the last thing we are going to be looking at here, which is the fifth. Okay, we are going to be looking at the fourth thing, which is money. I'm sure every man watching us would want to listen to this. Every man watching us want to listen to this, and I'm sure you are not excluded as a woman too. You want to talk about money. How do you manage money? Is it all the time you always have money? Because there is the saying that even rich men, they go broke at times. Not that you get broke completely, but there might not be physical cash with you. So when it comes to the issue of money, how do you manage money? So she's going to take us on that. Let's listen to what she has to say.
Yes, so in the aspect of money, there's been so many controversial talks on this money. Some men actually say when the wife makes money, she's supposed to bring it home and drop it with the husband, or the husband. And some people they talk about the husband sharing. Is he opening up, or how do I put it? Pardon me, please. I'm trying to look for the word. Like exposing himself to the wife, like financially. Some people believe that when a woman knows the amount that the husband has in his bank account, or knows his worth, she's going to take him for granted, and she's going to start exploiting him and say, "Oh, I need this, I need that, we need this, we need that." It should not always be so. It should not always be so. So the aspect of money now, when a man brings in money, this is what I've made for the day or for the month. How do we manage? Like they say, two heads are better than one. You cannot do it alone. Even I myself, I cannot do it alone. I don't hide what I have from my husband, and he does not hide what he has from me. If I have, I'll tell you I have, and if I don't have, I do not have. Understand? Now, when money comes in, the best thing for you to do is sit as a couple and plan. How do we spend this money? What are the things that we need? The children's school fee, house rent, food stuff, and then putting money back into your business, because you cannot just spend everything that you have. You take a certain percentage for the house, for upkeep. You also take a certain percentage for your business, and also keep some for the rainy days, and not just spending the money unnecessarily, because when that happens, you might not, if you are planning to, if you have a project at hand, you might not be able to achieve those things because you're not spending appropriately. So
yes, that is true. As a man, I don't buy the idea of you being secretive, especially when it has to do with money or generally in your home. What I do is I try as much as possible to make her understand this is what comes in for the year. I mean, for the month. How do we go about it? So at the end of the month, there is a limit to what she asks me, because she already understands this is what I brought home this month, and this is how we have spent it. She tries as much as possible to manage with me till another month. But if you are the type that hides your income or hides the money that you earn monthly or yearly for your spouse, you will discover that she might be demanding unnecessarily from you because she feels you have it. But if you expose or review everything you have earned for that particular month or that year to her, she will understand that, oh, we have this is what we have set aside for the children, this is what we have set aside for investment, this is what we have set aside for the house to buy foodstuff. So she will understand that before you can be able to bring out bulk money again, it will be the following year. But if you are secretive and you don't open up to her, she might even demand things from you that you will ask yourself, why is this woman demanding this kind of thing from me when she knows that I don't have this particular money at this point in time? But how will she know? She's not a witch. Because you did not open up to her, she might find it difficult to understand the kind of a person you are. So that is how we manage money in our house, and it has been helping us for the past 5 years, and it's still going to help us. So the last thing we are going to talk about is sex. Sex. Look at, she's smiling. Sex. Are you supposed to starve your spouse of sex, or are you supposed to give it to him all the time? She's going to share more light on that. So let her tell you what she feels before we now round up.
Sex is God's way of bringing intimacy between a man and woman. Sex promotes intimacy. Yes, when we just got married, our sex life was, I would say, how was it?
Well, maybe you should tell them.
It was okay, but it was all right. I would say it was okay. But along the line, after giving birth, sometimes some women actually, they develop a low sex drive in their marriage. You understand? And that's after childbirth. But in all, you still need to try as much as possible to satisfy your husband or your spouse. You understand? I'm not saying that you should be having sex every day. I'm not saying that the man should not be understanding or the wife should not be understanding. But even the Bible says we should not deprive one another. And then there are times that one gets tired and all of that. You need to be understanding about this issue. I know some couples who, the wife is always complaining, and my husband is always demanding for sex every day, even when she's sad, even when she just gives birth. These are part of the things that sometimes, even before you enter into the marriage, you need to discuss.
Well, naturally, I'm sure it's me you want to listen to. So just listen to me. I am the man. Naturally, when we first got married, I noticed that my wife is the type that she's not the type that loves sex too much. I don't know. There are people like that. She's not the type.
If I don't really like it though. I like sex too, but it's not
everyday thing.
It's not
something that sweeps you off your feet anytime. See, that is the way I presume she was. She's the type that does not really like sex too much. But along the line, if you want your home to work, you have to respect the desire of the second person. I mean, your husband. You have to respect it, or your spouse. You have to respect it. Along the line, we start to get used to each other. We start to get to understand each other. Understanding and the sex thing is intertwined. You get they go hand in hand. When our body does not really allow for sex, you have to respect the fact that maybe she's not sexually willing at that point. You have to respect her. For the fact that she does not give you sex today does not mean she won't give you sex tomorrow.
It should not be all the time.
But it shouldn't be all the time. Don't starve yourself.
Don't say today, no sex tomorrow.
Don't starve yourself. Don't starve yourself. The truth is, let me just say it here. It's not because she's here. I really don't think there is. I would have a reason to go and have sex outside my marriage. For now, because sexually I am satisfied with what I have. So please don't need to starve yourself. When your husband wants it, give it to her. When your wife wants it, give it to her. But that doesn't mean you will turn her to a sex machine.
Yes.
Respect her when she's not in the mood, and when she's in the mood, try as much as possible to enjoy yourself. There's no crime in it.
Yeah.
There's no crime in it.
It's not a sin.
It's not a sin.
I know
It's
some
not a
people
sin.
that even after marriage they say they see sex as a sin, as a dirty thing or something, but it shouldn't be so. Sex should be enjoyed by both partners, and when one partner is not willing, you don't need to force it, because that's when it becomes rape. You understand? Now some people do not believe that a man can rape his wife, even when he's married to the woman.
And it might even affect the affection.
Yes,
It might
exactly.
even affect it.
Affect the love for
So
each other.
she might not
So-
regard it as anything. When she's meant to enjoy it, she will just see it as, man, it's his usual way of raping me.
Yeah.
So
So marital rape actually exists, and that is why a lot of people don't really talk about this, because they feel, how can I marry my wife or marry my husband and I want to have sex? She's saying I'm raping her. That's not possible. You don't call it rape even during marriage, but the truth is that these things exist, and a lot of people, they don't talk much about it. But we are saying it today that you guys should always talk about these things. A no is a no, even from your wife or from your husband. And
So we appreciate you for watching. From me and from my wife as well, we want to beg you to always stay tuned to this channel and always expect this kind of video from us. We are not restricted to selling alone. We also try as much as possible to advise home, educate home, so that one way or the other we can always balance both sales and help me and social maritally. We can always balance it, both sales and maritally.
And not just maritally, there are other things too that are meant to be talked about. Even this point that we listed for marriage is not. It is not all. There are a lot of things that entails. In
But it's
this
simply
topic.
because we are 5 years. That is
Yeah.
why we highlighted
Exactly.
5 points.
Exactly.
So this is where we are going to be ending this video for now. I hope you have been able to learn 1 or 2 things from us. If you are here to subscribe to our channel, please do so. Click on the notification bell so that you can always get notified anytime we post a new video. From us here, or should I say from the Mwabinos family, we wish you Merry Christmas in advance and a prosperous New Year